On one hand, there is occupation from the invasion and occupation from the West, which the Muslim world sees as the crusading armies, a repeat of the Crusades. On the other hand, there is no mature response from the Muslim world which can represent the ethos, feelings, emotions, and protect the honor and dignity of the Muslim lands. We were Islamists. We are Islamists. We were the people who took the global view of Islam, and we understood that Islam as an ideology is our option.
Zaid Hamid, a former jihadi in the Afghan war against the Soviet Union and presently a security analyst. Another Islamist who still believes in the idea.
Political concept, it gives you economic concept, it gives you right down to your personal level how you should lead a life, how you should treat the people around you, and how you should live in a community, even to the level of how you should form cities and civilizations, and right up to the level of forming a global state. If you try to bring down Muslim ideology within the poles of East and the West, then you'll have a confusion. You'll have to understand Islam as a standalone, independent concept and code of life. It has its own solutions to the problems humanity faces today. It is more powerful than the idea whose time has come. There was time when fraternity, liberty and equality and democracy was gaining ground, and church could not resist it. When the time came for the idea of communism and Bolshevik revolution came, the Tsars could not resist it. What was the economic and military power of the Muslims of that time? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And what were the competing powers against the Muslims in those times? The Persian Empire, which was ruling from Iraq to Persia and Central Asia to one end, and the other were the Byzantine Romans, which were from Syria right down to the Roman Empire, which was spreading up into North Africa also. So those were the massive superpowers of the time, and if you do the comparative analysis of their economy and their military and their manpower and their resource and their history, there is no comparison. It was almost of a fight between an ant and an elephant. So if an ant defeats two elephants in one go, it was definitely not on the basis of sword. It was on the basis of the strength of ideology. Because all those regions which were captured from the Persian and the Roman empires accepted the faith of the conqueror, and for 1400 years those regions till today remain Muslims. Saying that on the basis of ideology and belief and faith, states and civilizations cannot be created is the biggest historical fallacy, because they have already been created for hundreds of years. Science and technology and modern astronomy and physics and chemistry and mathematics, Muslims are the originators of these sciences. The algebra is from the Arabic word Jabr al-Muqabala. The English word atlas is from the Arabic word atlas, the cloth on which maps used to be made. Science or politics does not have a morality of its own. You have to give it a morality. And where would you give it morality from if you separate religion from it? Because morality can only come from religion, from a divinely inspired doctrine, which tells you a difference between the concept of haram and halal, right and wrong. And there are hundreds of laws which we follow within our daily life and without any problem. So what's the problem in following some divine laws which regulate your spiritual doctrine, spiritual domain also? Go back into history and see when Islam was a political force, how did they behave? In Andalusia, in Spain, Islam ruled for 800 years. The most tolerant, most brilliant, most innovative, progressive, dynamic, scientific civilization humanity has ever seen. 800 years in Spain. In the modern age, as we have said, people have stopped reading. People have started watching. They're watching more television. And that is where the mind control game goes on. Because that's where the perception management, that's where the images, that's where the shuffling of signs and symbols and images actually start to program your collective psyche. That's where you're made to believe that Muslims are extremists. That's where you're made to believe that Muslims have no contribution to science and technology and humanity. This is where you're made to believe that if a Muslim political thought process comes, it would only mean cutting hands and beating people with sticks. When the Muslims captured Makkah, what was the role model? What was the character that the Muslims showed? Even despite being persecuted for so many years, the Prophet ﷺ forgave each and every man who had been persecuting Muslims for so many years. Never before in history such character was shown by the victors. When in the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Baitul Maqdis Sharif, Jerusalem was captured. Not a single man or warrior or woman or children or animal was killed. So what was that? Was that the strength of the sword or the strength of morality, strength of character? Everything that the West has today, they owe it to those Muslim civilizations which were all fundamentally grounded in the concept of a state which was governed by the divine scriptures and divine laws. Addressing to non-Muslims, I would tell them, invite them to come and do a comparative analysis. Open your mind, study. See how the civilization was. Let's not close your mind. Because what is happening is that even for the Western world, for non-Muslim world, a massive gross injustice is being done to them because they are not being given the option to compare.